Well, welcome back. Today is the 7th of June. Beautiful day. Well, kind of nice. Little overcast, but temperature's about 70. Just wanted to give you an update on what I'm doing with the door. It's slow progress, but a lot of other things to do before I get to this. So, looks rusty. Well, I treated it yesterday. I finally got everything cleaned up on it. All the rust. And then I did a clean on it, which involves taking all the oils off of the anything, and then you squirt it with some of this, believe it's like a phosphorus mixture, and so it's prepped and ready, and now I'm going to coat all the inside stuff here. I'm not going to touch the outside of it. I'm going to get just some rattle can primer to cover that for right now to kind of seal it up. But the inside I'm going to coat with this KBS black paint that I have. If I can find it, I do not see it. So I will find it. But anyway, that is the plan. And I have not started on trying to form that. I just went ahead and cleaned it up too. So I will paint the inside of that, but I'm not going to paint any of the outside with that KBS because I want just plain primer on that for that. But yeah, I'll definitely do the inside here. You can see, take that sticker off, get that done. But I had to replace a piece here that was rusted out. There is some holes here, you can kind of see them, and but we're gonna leave it go. It's you know, it isn't shown, and it's still pretty strong. It's just a cross support there, so that's where we're at. So I'll give you a little short video when I'm done here. Well, we're back another day. You see, we got a little ways further. You know, I forgot where I left off at. I think I left you off with the painting. So I can do this while dropping the door. There you can see I got everything cleaned up and painted on the inside all the way around, which is going to help, preserve it. This will be, of course, all covered with a door panel, and there's some pieces that go over this too here that are trim. But we got to the part where we put the skin on, okay? I went and bought me a shrinker. It's actually a shrinker stretcher. You can replace, you got another set of these that you put out. This is set for the shrinker right now, as you can see that. And so what I did is I took the edge, and you can see how it needed to be shrunk down, especially down in this corner. I got it all to fit pretty good around the edges. But as I laid it on, you can see that's all fitting pretty good. And this is my issue. The skin is, let me see if I can do this. It's bowed like this, but it's also, the original skin goes like this too. This one doesn't have that. That is why I've got this. And I think what I am going to do is I'm just going to keep spotting, going across, and basically force it down. It's not that big of a tin can thing, but I think as I tack it, and I've tacked it here, and I've got this so much closer than what I did the patch panel. This is the biggest gap I've got right here. Everything else is just touches. And, you know, so that's the plan. We'll see what happens. And I just kind of sprayed primer over everything on the outside to keep it from rusting, because I treated the metal with a couple things with the KBS paint they have. And so anyway, this kind of keeps it from flash rusting. So that's where we're at. So I'll bring you back when I get that thing fully tacked in place, and we'll take a look at it. Well, I finally got it to lay flat. It's, what I did is I had the hump in the middle, and so I cut the welds on this side. I thought I'll work it all that way, which I did, and then I got right down into here, and you can see I made some relief cuts. I had to, right there, there. Short ones I used Dremel tool, cut those real little thin slices, and it seemed to relieve it a little bit. And then I worked it a little bit with a dolly and hammer. I've got a dip right there. I have to wedge something back behind it because I can't reach it with a dolly. Now it's just a matter, I've got to go through and just keep adding tacks. And these tacks have already, I've ground the, not completely down, but they're down quite a bit. But yeah, it's off of there, and it's not too bad. Like I said, this side here that I'm holding is pretty good. It's just when you get onto this side that it gets a little bit wavy. You can see I've marked it there, the kind of the high and low spots. And I don't know if I can get that to focus right. It's kind of hard to see. But yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it was just bad stamping. Of course, this is my first attempt at metalworking, so, and I did the passenger door, so it's my experiment. And one thing I did notice when I put the skin on and I had all the edges conform to the frame is that it set tight up against this rib. And I took a thin piece of masonite and I stuck in there to try to give that a bow like this. Because let me show you the other door. If you can see it, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. It's kind of dark. But there is a gap between the skin and this brace. And there you can kind of see that. There's a gap there. And that's just a natural gap, I guess. And like I said, I don't know. Maybe it's because the bottom's rusted off too. I don't know. But something needs to be adjusted on that door. Hopefully that skin will lay down a lot better than this one, because this is a pain in the butt. And I mean, the only way would be to really do these relief cuts, and it's like these are small enough that it'll be easily filled with weld, but I've got a big hump right here where it came down and then it bubbled up, you know, and so that area there was kind of hard to work. So yeah, I might even give it another relief cut in here somewhere, some more, to kind of get it to move down a little bit. But anyway, that's where we're at. So bring it back when you got more. Well, I think we are ready to do a little bit of sanding and a little bit of mud. I'll tell you what, I worked on this thing for, oh, I don't know, 3 hours today. You know, I had everything welded up, and so I just came in and ground welds off, but I was having a problem with tin canning right here. You know, I tried, I don't know, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And so I tried to put a relief cut here, because if you remember the other videos, it showed a bow here. Again, this is the passenger side. This is the practice side. The driver's side, I will do things much differently. First of all, I have found my booger welds are just a pain to grind off. So I was patching a few spots, and I thought, let me turn it over and do the booger welds on the back side, which I did. This way you don't have to grind them. And it just leaves a little dot on the top. You know, just a little tiny dot. And it's like, yeah, guess what? On the driver's door, that's the way we're going to weld that piece on. But on the driver's door, this skin will lay flat on this seam. I am not going to have a thing like that. That's just, I should have knew better. I mean, basically what you almost, I don't know what you have to do, but I am definitely going to get this lined up. This will be welded first, and I would, you know, try to bend the edges up with my shrinker, you know, to get them pretty close. But this is imperative that this lays flat. You can see I tried different things. I didn't know what I was doing. I had a big dip here, and then a kind of a raised spot here. And then the first thing I did was get this. And I learned, you know, I watched Kyle and Kyle Carter, and then Carl Fisher. Both of them good metal workers on YouTube. And anyway, and there was another video too that showed how to shrink metal. So what I did is I just heated these up. You just put a little red dot with your torch. You can't use a propane torch, but a acetylene. Get a spot, and then I hit that, drove that down to make it smooth, and you know, and then I tried to shrink it some, and I did 2 in a row there, did another one and one here, and tried to shrink all this down so that it wouldn't be such a raised up spot. It worked pretty good. But I tried to do the same thing here, which was just the opposite of what I should have done. I shrunk these spots, and I should have heated them. What I did then is I thought, this is stupid. It's just worse, and it's a tin can thing. You know, you can see now it's solid. It's, yeah. What I did is I took, after I did all that, I said, what do I got to lose? I said, let's flip it over, and we will heat these spots up here and whack them with a hammer and drive them down. And then I worked around the edge with them, and I made me a slapper so that I could slap them too, to kind of, you know, smooth it out a little bit. I mean, there's little divots there right now, but I didn't cool it with water. You know, just let it go. And yeah, I did that, and that brought the divot out, or the little valley, or whatever you want to call it. There's not much of anything left there to really speak of. So, you know, that's what body filler's for, is to fill those little imperfections. I might have a little bit, maybe a 1/16 of an inch dip here, if that. And, you know, there's a lot of little hammer marks and stuff going on here, but you know, this side's nice, because this side I fitted properly, welded it in, and then I forced all that bubble over to here. That's why I had so much trouble over here. Yeah, I don't know if it's the skin wasn't made right. I think that's the biggest thing. And because it's got a compound bend, it's got one that goes this way, and it's got one that goes this way. Well, when you get it from Jim Carter trucks, it just goes this way, you know. And so, Yeah, I just have to figure out how to make them go this way too. So, but I'm learning. It's a nice learning lesson. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, I got a DA and with about 60, I don't know what grit it is, 60 grit, something like that. We'll go over this whole thing, clean it all up, and then we're going to smear body filler on it. And probably from about where that hinge notch is up. This part on the bottom's nice. The edges turned out really well. So I can't complain too much. And I didn't have to fight the old skin where I had a big rust hole here and I had pinholes all through it. So, even though I had to fight with it, it was still the way to go. But I'll bring you back when I get going with the mud. And it'll just be a series of short videos. But anyway, thanks for watching.